G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascend, a brand new map, Hidden Valley, and two of the world's best players. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EGC Finals. This tournament is one of the last tournaments for EGC TV for this year. This tournament is the culmination of many things for EGC TV, but of course, they're just simply the best players of the year going up against each other, and we've got two absolutely incredible players today. On the south side of the map, playing in the color red, as the Abbasid dynasty representing Izzy Dream, it's Marine Lord. And on the north side of the map in the color blue, playing as the English, it's Louis MT. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you go ahead, leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell button. I think we got all of those important things in. It does really help out with the traction of the videos, leaving likes. So let's talk a little bit about this opening, because we have got an absolute banger of an opening. It's going to be a barracks opening coming out here for Louis MT, and have a look at this. Now, one of the things to note is we can click on his spawn, and we should be able to see a similar spawn coming out for his opponent. And that will be that gold is not within reach of the town center, and stone is definitely out of reach of the town center. Let's check in with Marine Lord. Oh my lord. Okay, it looks like Marine Lord is not in for a good time today. Oh my, because look at this, the gold. Yikes. You know, whenever new maps get released, one of the big themes is always, you know, it's always a bit awkward because they take a bit of fine-tuning, right? And they get the new maps out and they're flashy and they're cool and they want to show them off. But the reality is they still need a little bit of tweaking. And this map is no exception. And here we can see that you've got a gold vein spawning behind a wood line. And that's not optimal. You could say that this wood line's really in an awkward spot, kind of putting... Look at the gold, or the stone here, how far forward it is. I mean, it's kind of the same deal that you got here for Louis. Except Louis's got a fair bit more favorable position and a little bit further away. And now we're going to see Louis coming around towards that east side. Marine Lord already has the resources to click up, so he's going to be fine in that regard. And he does go for military wing, which is going to give him that nice little boost to make sure that he's going to be okay. But he's in a bit of trouble right now. And that is because he's going for military wing, and it's going to be 1 minute and 30 seconds before he's got units on the field. Until then, he twiddles his thumbs. He doesn't get gold for his wheelbarrow. He doesn't get any stone for his second town center. This is not a pretty start for Marine Lord. Definitely not something he had accounted for on a map like this. So Louis definitely pulling the trump card out here. We'll ride on board with him as he's shifted 5 villages over to gold. This is a lot of villages on gold. Now, obviously, he's looking for that feudal age timing. He wants to click up to feudal. But the question's going to be whether he keeps them on that gold vein and whether he looks to be potentially going up to castle, because this is a lot of villages. You know, you're dealing with quite a lot of walking seconds coming out over here. So we'll have to ride on with him and just check in, see how he's doing. On the other side of the map, he's working down that mining camp. It's curious to see that Marine Lord has yet to come out towards that stone outcropping, but obviously a little bit fearful of doing it. And Marine Lord's just going to work instead towards that level 2 on the Golden Age, or level 1 Golden Age, which definitely makes sense here. You know, you've got to play with the cards that you've been dealt. And in this situation where you've been dealt no gold, no stone, you just got to approach, you know, how else can we play this? And it's going to be making sense going to that tier 1 Golden Age. But on the other side of the map, Council Hall coming down for Louis MT. Only the 3 villages on gold now, so he's brought a couple of them off, which to me indicates we're probably going to be seeing a little bit of a feudal age play coming out here, which I am excited about. I'm looking forward to. And Louis now on the move with those men-at-arms beginning, and you can see he's already working to kill down these deer. Wants to make sure that his opponent is not going to be able to do anything cheeky with it, but speaking of cheeky right there, Louis not going to be able to get away with it today. The men-at-arms chased away by the archers and the spearmen, and Louis heading back to where he came from. That is for sure. Now, expect to see a mining camp coming up on the stone outcropping almost immediately, and that's exactly what we see here for Marine Lord. No real surprise there, and Louis will spot this as he runs back. He can assume that his opponent has pretty much collected every single bit of wood that he needs to collect. Now, did he actually end up going for that level, that Golden Age? It doesn't look like he's done that, which is kind of wild, because we did watch another Marine Lord game where he did play the Abbasid, and he went for a very, very fast opening Golden Age. But we don't see that today. So Marine Lord finding a little bit of variance here in this Abbasid civilization. Definitely, at the moment, considered to be one of the strongest civilizations, the Abbasid dynasty. A very good pick, a very robust pick, capable of pretty much doing anything, achieving anything, and of course, a great late-game civilization. But I think the big thing is this military wing is just able to buy them so much time in the early game. It forces your opponent back if they've got any sort of raid, and it's quite a strong composition that you're dealing with here, right? Like, you're up against spears, you're up against archers, so it's two different units that are able to tackle you, so definitely makes it difficult. But now Louis going to be looking to begin producing longbowmen. No real surprise there. Longbowmen going to be coming out for him, and we start to see upgrades on the way. Double broadaxe coming through for him. And also, looks like we've got a mill coming down. So I will expect it's going to be an early wheelbarrow here for him. The question's going to be what he looks to follow up this opening with. He's got a couple of options. Of course, you've seen the 2TC or even the 3TC style that some English players will do after a men-at-arms rush. But it looks like Louis is going to keep it real. Just some longbows. He's continuing production for the moment. He's got quite a bit of resources in the bank here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see even more longbows coming out here. Looks like he's somewhat working towards that wheelbarrow as well. 129 gold in the bank. And it would make sense here, though horticulture also makes sense, considering he's got so many villagers on food at the moment. But expect to see that wheelbarrow dropped off or clicked up any second now. Marine Lord. Single scout on this side of the map. All the other units have head back to the base. 2 spears, 2 archers. And of course, we see that town center has come down a little bit after the 6-minute mark. Not too bad for Marine Lord. And now the question is going to be, what is his approach from here? I would suspect we're probably going to be seeing a stable coming out shortly. Alternatively, he could look to mass up archers. And we've seen Marine Lord go for a very eco-focused style with the Abbasid before. We'll ride on board with his opponent, though, as the push now starts to come to shove. Do we potentially see an outpost on... Oh, the longbows raining their parade, raining on the parade of the opponent. You saw right there, but I tell you what, I'm just thinking out loud right now. Is there a world where you could put an outpost here and an outpost here and deny your opponent wood completely? Because I feel like there is. I feel like you could go for a double outpost play. It would be difficult because, you know, your enemy could very easily just commit, you know, villages from one side to the other and bust you through. But, I mean, Marine Lord can't see up here. And as long as you fortify before you get the emplacement up, then you're going to guarantee that you've got that fire armor in. You could also make sure that you stack up a couple of units inside it as well, so it's got a few more arrows. I think that'd be very difficult to deal with here, especially when you're on the defense like Marine Lord is at the moment. But cute little wall coming in on the back of the base, just making sure that his opponent is unable to get through here. Wants to make sure that there's no transfer coming in from one side over to the other, that he's just going to maintain aggression on a specific side with this. You can see right now, units at the back of the base are indeed looking to go for that. He wants to try and make a bit of an annoyance here in the back of the base, and that's exactly what he's going to be able to do as he takes out more and more of these deer. It's a double effect by doing this. Number one, the deer are all split up, which means it's harder for them to be gathered. And on top of that, you can't build wherever the deer have been killed. So it means that you can't build in any of this space at all, rather than, you know, ideally you'd like to have them all stacked up on a couple of tiles, whereas here they're all spread out. Numbers continuing to build at the moment for Louis. He's up to 17 military population, playing a very standard English opening here, English men-at-arm opening. But one thing to note, a longbow did come on the other side of the map and was very quickly told where to go. Marine Lord says it is not going to be on. Do not even think about it, my friend. I'm going to be sending you back to the Shadow Realm very, very quickly. Louis, on this north side, begins to add in a secondary lumber camp. He's almost eaten out that first set of wood lines. We can see that wheelbarrow is now coming through for him. No real surprises there. Exactly what you'd expect. And he does fall back away from the front. Now, I'm curious exactly what his thinking is behind this. What is he seeing that he's decided to fall back away from this? The positioning of the town center, it's difficult to strike. You're kind of going into this danger zone between it if you dare come around this angle. It's very hard to strike. You could look to come in onto the back, but realistically, there's not much here. There's a town center, and that's pretty much it. And you want to avoid attacking into a town center. Does he just look to come to the other side completely? Is that what he's doing? Is he just doing a switcheroo right now? What does Marine Lord know about this? Because he doesn't really see much. So realistically, there could be battering rams in this fog of war. There could be an outpost here. He's got absolutely no clue, and he will send out a couple of spears. He's just looking for enemy positions, looking for enemy units. He wants to get a bit of a read. What is happening right now? 9 minutes into this game, he's still not 100% sure what his opponent is up to, what the plan is this game. But these guys are very close in score. But Marine Lord is slowly breaking away from his opponent. 10 villagers up at the moment in this game. And that continues to climb. Remember, every minute that passes, Marine Lord builds 6 villagers. His opponent builds 3. That is a significant difference. blacksmith. This tells us everything we need to know about the plan of Louis. Expect to see +1 ranged attack coming in any second now. One of the most powerful upgrades that you can get as the English early on. Really work on that damage piercing for your longbows. And now men-at-arm numbers have started to build as well. You can see him not really looking to go into spears. The longbows in this matchup are particularly good. And the reason why is because they do so effectively against any kind of camel. Camel riders are just not going to be possible in this situation. Normally, you'd love to play camel riders up against, camel archers up against an opponent who's going for men-at-arms. I remember losing against Hutt very early on in Age of Empires 4, where he just made only camel riders, or camel archers, against my men-at-arms. And in this situation, it's not possible because of the longbows. The longbows are just too damn good in this matchup. They're just going to be able to snipe out those expensive camel units. And that means that your opponent is going to be scrambling for a defense. So we can see that, as a result, Marine Lord's just going to be looking into archers, looking into some horsemen here. And, of course, a couple of spearmen from that military wing age up. But now on the other side of the map, we do start to see Iron Undermesh coming through. It is a slow and steady build-up here. Have a look at the difference in economies at this stage of the game. You're talking about 600... 1350, somewhere around that region, maybe 1450, sorry, 14, I'll call it 1400 on the income for Louis. Compare that to Marine Lord, who's sitting at about the same amount, maybe 1500, 1600. He's got a little bit of stone as well. So slight advantage for Marine Lord, but that will continue to grow the longer the game goes on. And Louis back home, already with the nice little walls coming in. Village is going to get pulled here just to repair that wall, just in case. But the landmark is under threat. Boot camp is now through as well for Louis. So a little bit more health on these units early on, in a battering ram will come down, looking to challenge out this outpost. Marine Lord doesn't spot it, but I'm sure he suspects something is up. Remember, he does not have the scout positioned. Where is that scout? It's over on the other side of the map at the moment, so can't really see what's happening, but he will know that there is an outpost nearby. Once these villages light up, you'll see them, or rather, once these units light up, you'll see that that attack speed will be coming through very, very quickly. But now, a little bit of a push out. Marine Lord begins to approach his opponent with the battering ram on the way through. Louis at this time seems very committed to playing it in the feudal age. Marine Lord as well knows he needs to survive this big push from coming through. And now, the longbowmen teeing off towards each of the archers, doing a great job of just picking them off. Men-at-arms on the front line as well, soaking up plenty of damage. Scout will go down, horsemen yet to engage. Still a distinct lack of spears coming out from Louis at this stage, but looking at the horsemen on the south side, this is going to be a pretty decent engagement for Marine Lord. The one thing to note is that the archers are being boxed out very effectively by the men-at-arms, and the longbows continue to kite backwards. Look at the health on these horsemen. And now you're in a bit of an awkward spot because your longbow numbers have maintained, your men-at-arm numbers have maintained, and the reality is it feels like that was a pretty decent trade for Louis MT. And indeed, the numbers support that case. At this stage, it looks like, so far, when it comes to destroyed value, Louis sits on 500, compared to 1,000 for Marine Lord, but I guess you've got things like outposts that are being counted towards that. But to me, it felt like that was a good engagement there for Louis, because Marine Lord, normally the way that Marine Lord plays is he will only go if he knows he can beat you. And he wasn't able to beat Louis. Louis microed very well in that situation, and he is continuing to impress. That much can be said. More upgrades on the way. Horticulture. Bloomery on either side. It's players. Now, one other thing to note is this, of course, is an EGC TV game. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can check out EGC TV this weekend. I want you to come say good day, 15 GMT. There are going to be plenty more games coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you're there. Set your alarms, set your timers, set all that good stuff. Make sure that you are ready, because these two players are definitely going to be showing there, and they're going to be bringing their best game. Look at this. Look at the control that he's got with the longbows. Absolutely over the top here, forcing out his opponent. We see that next golden age coming through for him as well. But my fear is that it might get denied out here. This is a bit of a tough spot that he's going to find himself in here, because if he loses out the landmark, he loses the ability to age up, he loses the golden age, and of course, he loses everything that comes with that, including things like fire armor. Keep in mind, you do get that nice little bit of extra fire armor, so that these men-at-arms will be doing even more siege to the subsequent buildings. But of course, the real threat here is that this is your secondary secondary landmark. Let's check in with Louis, see how he's doing. Not a big farming economy, only about 9, 10, 11 farms coming in on that north side. It looks like a couple men-at-arms looking to try and break some sort of pressure on that top side. Couple of longbows as well. Louis continuing. Takes out the House of Wisdom. It's going to be the first landmark that goes down. Keep in mind with the Abbasid, you cannot make any more landmarks. That's it. You've got 2 landmarks for the entirety of the game. That is it. There's no 3rd landmark. There's no 4th landmark. And now beginning to push forward. He's got a nice little pocket here, Louis. He puts himself up against the wall. He's got a very safe corner that he's happy to sit on. And with that, as long as he's able to maintain a solid men-at-arm number, he should be fine. Longbow's picking off. Not doing a whole bunch of damage here. He's going to be looking for a second battering ram. And I do like this approach from him. He could definitely find a kill position here. If he really wants to go for it, Marine Lord's going to be under pressure in this game. The key right now for Marine Lord is survival. If we talk about win conditions here, Marine Lord's on 2 TCs. He's producing villagers for a cheaper price than other civilizations. All he needs to do is survive. He needs to invest every single resource he can in surviving right now. So what does that mean? Expect to see villagers getting pulled into the town center to start helping out with the defense. Expect to see villagers pulled to repair the town center. Expect to see villagers pulled to take down the rams. He's picked up his textiles upgrade, so he is ready to start dishing out some damage with the villagers. Whether they get pulled is going to be a different question. Number of archers looking pretty strong here for Marine Lord on the defense, but the longbowman numbers are still pretty solid. And as long as they're teeing off towards those archers, it's going to be a very slow but steady whittling down. But once again, Louis doesn't like his spot. Doesn't think he can take it. You can see how keen he is to take down Marine Lord in this game. The outpost has finally come up for him. A little bit of extra attack speed in the back pocket. Look at the military difference now. All of a sudden, you've got a much greater advantage in favor of Marine Lord. 85 military population against 56 for Louis MT. Men-at-arms continuing to move forward. He's got 28 men-at-arms at this stage. 28 men-at-arms is becoming a problem. I'm going to say that much. That is a lot of men-at-arms. And now, once again, beginning to head in. You can see that he's trying to deal with the archer, or with the rams, just using the archers. Have a look at this. It's kind of like how what you do when you're playing the Chinese. You don't actually need to invest in, like, villagers to kill the rams. You can just use your Zhuge Nu to kill them. He's got that many archers. He's able to focus down the rams with the archers. And you can see how quickly it kills them. I mean, when you're talking 60, 70 archers here, it is a superb amount of numbers to deal with this. They need, like, 5 volleys to kill the ram. So Louis now going to be stalling out a little bit. I want to check in with Marine Lord. I want to see what he's doing out over on that right side of the map. We're right on board with him quickly. He's still out here. No walls yet to come up for him, but we do see plenty of villagers out here. A lot of them looking safe. Remember that when your second landmark is under threat as the Abbasid dynasty, you need to make sure you follow the golden rule of the Abbasid, and that is all in. You must do everything that you can to survive, even at this stage of the game, right? Like the key here to remember is that if he loses this town center, he loses the game. So we want to do everything we can to stay alive. That means pulling every single villager. But have a look at this. Just when Louis thinks about going to the castle age, Marine Lord says, it ain't happening, princess. Come back here. I know what your plan is. It's not happening. He can see the number here, not really building up that much. And the archers begin to come out. This could be the one weakness for the English. Archers. The reason why. They've got the slightly faster movement speed. 1.25 movement speed here for the archer against the longbow. 1.12. He's using a decent job with the formations to try and increase the movement speed here, but he continues to push forward. He knows that his opponent is aging up because he refuses to engage. This is it right now. Marine Lord smells blood in the water. The age up comes through behind it. Expect to hear veterancy coming through on these longbows, +2 coming through on these for the ranged units, and expect to see veterancy on the men-at-arms very, very soon. Slowly but steadily, he crosses the map back towards safety. And the men-at-arms, will the upgrade come through on time? You can see how much Marine Lord wants to fight. It's like he's standing in a nightclub right now saying, fight me, God damn it! And he just won't do it. He's doing everything he can to get out, but the veterancy comes through right on time. And now all of a sudden, those men-at-arms are not going to be receiving any damage at all from the archers. You can see there's the veterancy. I apologize. The veterancy finally coming in and now just barely taking a scratch. You can see it's going to be 1 damage a pop of these men-at-arms. Not a single piece of damage coming in. They ignore it with absolute beautiful brilliance coming in right now. Now the longbows, the tides have turned. That is the power of the castle age, and that is the reason why we never fight when we're aging up. Louis demonstrating absolute beautiful control in that situation, acknowledging that he needs to age up, acknowledging he cannot take a fight, and just absolutely nails that weakness of the English. Now, or rather, nails that strength of the English. The Abbasid dynasty have a whole bunch of units that do 6 damage, and he's got men-at-arms now that have got 5 armor, which means that he is safe from any of the damage that they can do. The men-at-arms run with impunity towards the base of Marine Lord. There's going to be nothing he can do here without crossbows, and you can see he had to repair the House of Wisdom And he's only just got that age up through. He's still got another 1 minute and 17 seconds before that age up comes through. He needs crossbows, and he needs them yesterday. The power of the English. Louis MT with an incredible English strategy here against the Abbasid, one of the best civilizations in the game right now, begins to push them. The town center now under threat as well. Keep in mind, there could be battering rams out, but he's just going to absolutely finish off everything here. Marine Lord starting to look a little bit problematic here as he continues to kite away from his opponent, working those numbers out, and now does the right thing. Splits off a couple of archers, begins heading towards those longbowmen. Keep in mind, the longbowmen have got plenty of upgrades here, so they are dishing out so much damage, but he does do the right thing. He continues kiting him back. We can see behind this, look at what Louis is doing. He's gone for the King's Palace. He's now dropped down the monastery, and he's beginning to pick up relics. He's already got a scholar, or rather a monk, in queue. And now, is this it? Did Marine Lord manage to hold? He's still under pressure on towards that north side. Villager count, not too bad. He only lost 4 villagers in the whole thing. And the age up is coming through. So I think he has managed to hold for the moment. 48 archers on the field. Expect to see combos coming through quickly. Expect to see veterancy on your archers. Expect to see +2. Here he comes. Culture Wing about to come through, and expect to see a whole bunch of crossbows and lancers in queue. He needs them ASAP. Where are they? There they are. 1, 2, 3. They're the key upgrades that we were talking about. +2. Veterancy, combos, all on the way through. Where are the lancers in queue? Where are the crossbows in queue? Villager number still maintaining a pretty decent amount here. You can see, wait, what are these? Marine Lord? Marine Lord's villagers almost going down there. We can see a couple of the units getting picked off in the wood line. I was getting a little bit confused, but now towards that top side, the battering ram's broken through. Marine Lord starting to look like he's got problems all over. He's like a firefighter right now, trying to put out fires absolutely everywhere. Still no crossbows in queue, only making archers. And you can see he's really struggling with his food at the moment. 555. Even the man with 400 APM is still struggling to find APM in this game right now. He's got units all over his base. It is just a non-stop flood coming through. Louis MT, he is so chill back at home right now. He is in the back of the limousine. He has got the ice cream out. He is Bing chilling. He is having such a good time. And look at this. The veterancy comes through on the archers, but have a look at the men-at-arms. They've already got their +4 ranged armor bonus, which means that your archers with 7 and 2 are not doing any more damage to them. It's literally a counter unit, a guaranteed counter unit. You just break the meta with this upgrade. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about armor cladding, baby, aka armor chatting. It just nullifies the archers completely. All that they're left doing is 41 damage because there's 41 archers. That is it. And now those longbows looking to try and tee off towards some of the villagers. We can see him evacuating. He's taken out 11 so far and more towards that top side. Do we see any cavalry out yet? Doesn't seem like it from neither player. I tell you what, just a couple of lancers may have sold the deal for him here, Marine Lord, but he's still struggling to keep his head above water. He did a decent job early on, making sure that he had the walls that came up on this top side, but of course his opponent has broken through, and now a single longbow in the corner. Louis, he's looking for it. You can see he's got longbows spread out everywhere. Marine Lord will react. The longbow will get taken out, but continues to cause pressure towards this north side. Flooding in units. Marine Lord's going to tap out, and Louis MT going to claim an absolute beautiful victory in this EGC TV game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this game, make sure you go check out EGC TV live this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday, Sunday. I'll leave a link in the description, and of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.